And we're here. We're live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the third installment of the Venture Maidens Presents The Rising Hunger. Ooh. My hunger is not rising. I've actually just eaten dinner. It's very good. And so, this stream, along with all the other episodes in this season, are currently sponsored by Kobold Press, the wonderful author of this module, Empire of Ghouls, a level 1 through 13 D&D 5th edition adventure. And to celebrate that wonderful goodness, we are giving away a hardcover copy of the Underworld Player's Guide, where, if you recall, our wonderful Dampier, played by the Willy Boo, the stats for playing that species are in the Underworld Player's Guide, along with, like, weird anglerfish people who live underground, mushroom folk, Darrow, along with a whole new host of spells and really cool class options based on all of the content and stuff that's covered in this module. So yes, Empire Ghouls, very cool. Underworld Player's Guide, very awesome. Definitely thank you to Kobold Press for sponsoring this episode and all the episodes in the season and writing this super kick-ass adventure that we are getting underway in. And so with that is a reminder to all of you who are listening / watching here today that we are going to get into some spoopy stuff. Definitely lots of gore and body horror and cannibalization. And so if you're just not in the mood for that, that's cool. I totally understand. This might not be the stream for you. But everyone else who's got your big britches on, let's go ahead and get started. I am your storyteller this evening. I'm Sage. I am a player and showrunner here on the Venture Maidens channel. Welcome if this is your first time. I hope to scare your pants off. I am leading this. And here with me is my third victim so far. Matt, tell us about yourself, who you are in the fabulous world of role-playing, what you do, and tell us a little bit about your character.
I'm Matt. On Twitter, you can find me at KintaroTPC. There, I generally will post about tabletop and food or whatever weird things tickle my fancy at any given point in time. I am also the GM for a podcast, an actual play podcast called Curse of Lords, in which Sage is a player. So if you happen to cross paths, you might hear now two familiar voices. Aside from that, you can, if you feel inclined for some reason, follow me on Instagram. I am Woodyard Photos. Nothing posting right now because of COVID, but it's only a matter of time. And about my character, how deep should I get? Maybe I should explain. No, we'll save that for later. We'll let the mystery build until I have to describe who this weird person is on your screen.
So weird. Why is he gray?
Why?
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 Matt, could you turn up your volume just a tiny bit?
Certainly. Is this any better?
Yes, much better.
Cool.
All right, excellent. And with that, where Valka finds himself is in the city of Helbron after you have been given your missive from the Raven Queen. You're standing in the city. You are in the oldest district of Helbron, also known as Old Braun, that is home to the Arcane Collegium, which is this huge and prestigious arcane university for wizards, for sorcerers, and for warlocks to be able to come together and study the arcane arts in a safe environment and in an environment that is not necessarily held to the same set of standards that the rest of the Empire is, in that it is possible to study necromancy, though if you were to take your studies out into the world, they would not be looked on kindly. And so the city of Helbron has built up around this university. The Arcane Collegium stands as sort of the beating heart in the middle of the city, and everything else has kind of grown in these concentric circles around it. The buildings in this district are ancient stone buildings, buildings that have clearly been here for a millennia and a half. And so, with your set of notes about who you are supposed to be meeting, you find yourself standing outside of this very nondescript building. Just, large, rectangular, kind of a warehouse looking situation made out of brick. And as you're standing outside of the door, you notice that the door, this large steel door, is cracked open, and you just catch the guise of a man who is lying face down on the ground. Valka, why don't you describe what you look like?
So, Valka is he's a Shadarkai, so he's elf-like at a glance. He's got the long pointed ears. He's got kind of a thinner-ish frame underneath some very gray robes. The thing that you notice almost unfortunately about Valka is that not only is his robes gray, his hat is gray, he's pale. And it's not just that he's a little bit, he's not just a little gray. He is, in fact, entirely monochromatic. He is like a black and white film character who has been ripped out of his movie and placed in a world that actually has color. In any room in which he stands, it almost feels like he's sucking the color out of anything around him. If it weren't for the fact that he's almost constantly chipper and smiling and curious and excited, he would be incredibly depressing to be around. He wears these very basic, very worn out boots, and the thing that has followed him everywhere throughout this city seems to perch at various points behind him or just to the side, trying to stay out of vision, is a very strange looking raven. And right now it's keeping its distance.
I like it. All right, so, and as you see this door cracked open before you, and you know this to be the address where you are supposed to be meeting with your contact, whose only name you've been given is the Sleeper. What would you like to do?
Okay. So Valka will glance back at the raven that's watching over him, but then proceed towards the door and very gently ease it open and just stick his head in and then just give it a quick look around. If it's dark in there, he's not at all stopped by that because he has dark vision. So he's just poking his face right in there, right in danger. Anything that might want to lash out at him.
I'm so glad you say that. No, but as you poke your head in, you see that, of course, that the first thing to greet you is this man who is lying face down on the ground in a pool of his own, well, at least some of his own blood, with his hand outstretched towards the door and a silver dagger stabbed into his back. He's lying at the opening of this hallway, which leads into this large hallway that extends very far off to the left and to the right. And you see that it is entirely covered from floor all the way up to the ceiling with these plain white tiles, which are cast in this hideous green-yellow light.
Hideous to everyone else. Valka walks in, just strides in, opens the door, strides in like he owns the place, and he's like, wow, look at this. And then he he gets himself into the okay, I'm doing something here zone, and he wanders over to the body, crouches down, and puts his finger in the blood for a minute and rubs it between his fingers, gets it really close to his face, and touches it to his tongue. Then he looks down at the body. Not your day, huh, guy? And he goes and reaches and pulls the dagger, the knife out of his back. And he looks at it, puts that away in a pocket. And he looks at the body, turns the head to try to figure out if there's anything weird going on there, pulls the lips back to check the teeth. Like, you one of them biters?
He appears to stay dead. Does not have vampire fangs, notably. And his face is stuck in this grimace of pain and terror.
Valka kind of moves the body to the side a little bit, flops it over to check to see if there was anything weird going on the underside, and starts checking the pockets to see if there's anything left on this person that might give a clue as to what they were trying to do here, what they were up to, anything like that.
And so as you flip him over, you see that he's wearing a once white lab coat underneath with a blue sweater, khaki pants, and a very simple brown leather laced up shoes. And it appears as if his entrails have been ripped out of him, as if they've been ravaged by some kind of wild animal. You see that there is just a large cavity in his chest and stomach of where organs used to be. And as you sort of pick through his pockets, you find a set of keys, and you notice in his hand, as his kind of grip loosens a little bit as you adjust him to examine his body, a note falls out.
Okay.
You also find like 20 coppers and a couple silver of loose change that are jingling around in his left front pocket.
Okay. So Valka will pocket the key after giving it a good look. Add that to the collection of weird stuff he's probably gonna pick up. And he'll take a look at the note.
The note reads, it is addressed to an individual named Bartleby, and reads, This place was well worth the gold it cost to renovate. The lycanthropes north of here are resourceful lads and have already brought me subterranean reagents, components it would take months to find on the surface. I have a good feeling about this grimy little workshop, despite the foul orders of the neighboring boroughs and the ranting of those madcap goblins. I noticed some unsavory activity in the warrens east of here, hooded fellows who steal about in odd hours of the night, and I feel other monstrosities have taken up residence in the tunnels nearby. Send your best man at once to dispatch some old hometown justice. My coin is good. And it is signed, The Sleeper.
So Valka will consider this note for a bit and then look down at the body again. Be like, wow, you poor son of a bitch. You died for like 20 copper in here. This is not at all worth the price you paid. And look at this, just a complete waste of perfectly good guts. And he'll try to like push the guts back into the body to try to make it whole again. And then he'll drag the body away from the pool of blood and kind of set it up into a position where it's not just a body in the middle of a room. Mm-hmm. He's going to take the lab coat, the bloodstained lab coat, and wrap it up into, like, do one of those things where you twist a towel and get it nice and taut. And then he's going to, like, twist it and pull it and make 2 knots on the end. And then pocket that. Don't worry about it. And then he'll take another look around and be like, all right. So I got myself a warehouse. I got myself a body. I got a note from the sleeper. I got some tunnels, lycanthropes, goblins looking for reagents. And we're looking at ourselves a case of old hometown justice. Well, I suppose I could start looking for some tunnels. Well, I should probably really case this place. And he looks down at the body and goes, "You wait here. I'll see if I can take care of you later. I'll be back, hopefully, more intact than you are." And he's gonna start making his way through the area,
Right,
feeling out the fringes.
So you see that this long hallway extends off to the left and to the right, and as you look off to the left, you can see that there is an archway that continues on into some other room that you can't quite see into unless you like walk all the way down there. And as you look off to the right, you see that there are two doors that lead off of this main hallway. Where would you like to go first?
All right. I think he's gonna go towards the two doors and like get really up to it, and then like press his ear up against one of them, see if there's anything going on inside.
You can see that these two doors are across from each other, and as you look off one way, you can see that it's just a very plain wooden door. It has a lock on the outside though, so and as you can press up to it, it's quiet on the inside. And if you can kind of like test the handle a little bit, you can definitely tell that it is locked. The door on the other side of across from this one is a large steel door that is definitely has been like padlocked shut.
Okay. So he's gonna look at the lock on the wooden door and be like, "Well, path of least resistance, probably." And he's gonna take out the keys and start trying the keys in that door.
Yeah, and so as you kind of flip through them, one after it takes a couple tries, but you can eventually find the proper one. And as you open it up, it leads you into a very simple, very austere set of living quarters. There is a very tidily made bed, a well-kept desk, a large wardrobe with very neatly arranged clothes by color. Someone has very meticulously kept this room.
So he's gonna look around and be like, doesn't look like there was a sign of a struggle here. Let's take a look around, see if there's anything that someone left here by accident. He's gonna do a quick little like look around here, see if there's anything that looks out of place given how neat it is.
One thing that does catch your eye is while one corner of the bed is very sort of very like it was very like hastily like put together, as if it's been ruffled through like under the mattress.
He's gonna like stand there and look at it in the middle of the room and be like, "Aha, a clue," and just go right into it and just start ripping it apart.
And so as you can tear off the comforters and the quilt that's on this bed and the pillow, and rip the sheets off and lift up the mattress. And you see underneath the mattress there is sort of this rectangle where there is like a lack of dust, where it appears as if something was there but was since removed.
About how big is it? Like lockbox big, or like
about the size of a letter?
Okay.
Of like a letter in a standard envelope.
Okay. He's gonna look at that and be like, Just saying everything that goes in his head out loud, like he's apparently going to do now. This looks like it was a letter that someone probably took. They hid this here for some reason and took it before I got here. Probably here for a while. It's unlikely that I'm gonna find anything in here if it's been this meticulously kept and this clue is this old. Let's take a look around at that other door and see if there's anything weird going on in there. And he's gonna go over back to the metal door with the padlock.
And as he flips through the key ring again and eventually find the correct one, you can remove the lock. And as you open this door, you see that it is off to the right, you see that there are 3 cells in which are contained a couple of women. One of them, who is fairly young, looks to be probably like in her late teens, early 20s. A much, much older woman who appears like it could be like a mother or an aunt. And on the ground next to them, laying stone dead, is this middle-aged dead elven man.
So the elven man is dead. Are the 2 women alive?
They are alive, and as you open the door and they hear like the creaking of the metal as it pushes against the tiles, they, oh my god, no, who are you? Are you here to? And like immediately throw themselves against the cell bars and in sort of like as anxious, nervous wrecks, waiting to see like who is coming through this door.
He just walks in, just doesn't like try to be subtle about it at all. He's just barging into places. And he goes, please, there's no need to be alarmed. I have no idea what's going on here. Maybe you can tell me what's going on here. First off, let's get you out of these cages, because that's a terrible thing to be doing to you. And he's gonna start going through the keys and trying to see if he can get these cages done. Please, just don't attack me, whatever you're gonna do when I open these things. I had nothing to do with what was going on here. I'm just a guy finding bodies.
And the younger woman, okay, yeah, my name is Brianna, and this is my mother Marisol, and we were taken here, and we've been held captive for I don't know how long. I lost track of the days, and they just threw this man in here, and he's just been dead. And as you're kind of flipping through keys, and you eventually find the correct one to open up this lock in here, and you can swing the door open. They're like, you're not here to hurt us? Who are you?
Nah, I'm not here to hurt you. I'm just here solving mysteries. Wandering into places, solving mysteries. Look, I got a lot of stuff I'm trying to do here, and I'm gonna step out of the cages, please. I got a lot of questions. First off, and he takes out a notebook and a quill. He's like, all right, I'm gonna need you to do this from the top again. So you're in a cage. Is that right? Who put you in this cage?
And so as the younger woman, Brianna, helps up her mother, Marisol, to stand to her feet, and they begin to, like, meagerly step out of this cell. And as she does so, the younger woman, Brianna, she lets out a shriek as she turns back, and now you see the hand of the presumably was dead elven man grasped on her ankle. And you see that the eyes pop open with this menacing, sharp red glow. And she is struggling to escape its grip. And you see, lolling out of its mouth is this tooth-studded tongue that begins lashing out as it begins to clamber to life. We're gonna roll some initiative.
Cool. Ooh.
Oh, that's pretty good. What'd you get?
I got a 3.
All right. Well, my undead boy, is gonna have the first move. And so immediately has her ankle in its grasp and it wrenches her leg towards his mouth and chomps down. And she lets out this shriek of pain as, he just tears a huge chunk of flesh out of her calf and sunders it from her body. And then it is your turn.
Valka is gonna see this happen and be like, "Excuse me, sir. I'm asking questions here. That's incredibly rude." And he's gonna pull out that silver dagger and he's gonna walk over there and try to stab it in the head.
Go for it.
Wow. That is an astounding 5.
Not quite enough, unfortunately.
I am shocked.
And then, so yes, you see this creature is going to continue just absolutely keep going to town on her. And you see it now, like, wriggles up its other arm and sits up and gets to, like, it's like in this very kind of animalistic, crouched on all fours, and it lets go of her ankle for a second and then grabs her by the waist and just yanks her to the ground. And you see that her mother is like trying to pull her away from this creature. And he is gonna throw some claws at her and hit. And then also get in a nasty bite. And you see this woman is helpless to this creature as it just rends her flesh with these large, long, yellowed nails. And it is tearing through the sort of sinew and flesh in her neck as you see blood just splatters across these white tiles. And it's your turn.
So Valka's gonna step back a bit, and he's gonna go, "Oh, okay. I didn't know we were serious." And he's gonna pull his arm back like he's gonna throw a punch from like 10 feet away. And when he does that, the arm bends and warps and ripples like a sack full of cats. And when he throws the punch, the arm extends all the 10 feet towards whatever this creature is that's attacking this poor woman. He is casting First Sigil of Endless Flesh.
Ooh, what does that do?
So it does exactly what I just said. Basically, you can make a melee attack roll from 30 feet away. Dope. And what it is literally throwing an arm, like a punch, that calluses over and forms spikes and rough points to do extra damage.
Nice.
So this is going to be a 18 to hit.
That will hit.
Okay. That is going to be 8 points of damage. Just pow.
Right in the kisser. Very cool. And you see, he is still very, very much consumed in tearing this woman apart. So he is just raking through, pulling out these women's entrails and feasting on them. So he is quite consumed, one might say, with this task. So,
how thematic.
Your
turn. Yeah, he's just gonna like step back again, and it's a cantrip, so he's gonna do the exact same thing. So the punch like lands and hits it, and then it like reels back like a fleshy whip, and then he just brings it down like he's just fist pounding a table.
Nice.
That is 14 to hit.
That will hit.
Well, that's convenient. Another 2d6 for this poor... Okay, that's 11 points of damage. Just...
And as your fleshy, whip-like fist reels into this creature again, you give it just a whoosh, and you just knock its block right off, and it dies again? With this woman's arm in its mouth, and it kind of thunks back, and the mother is just inconsolably crying as she's like trying to gather her daughter from the clutches of this now dead again creature, and is like frantically just trying to like put her together as if it's going to make a difference. He's not supposed to. We were just out getting bread. And just can't you do something? My little. And
so she's inconsolable, and at the end of the spell, it like reels back and like clinks back into place and spins him a little bit. So he's kind of like dealing with the momentum of that. And then when he turns around, he's just looking at this mess, and he just goes over and he's like, I'm wicked sorry. I can't do anything for this. I'm not that kind of person. I the best I can do is make sure that that nothing like this happens again. I can make sure she gets into the ground and is not turned into whatever that was. And he points at the body that got up and attacked. But that's the best I can do. I can't. It's not in my power to bring her back. I'm sorry.
Oh, please just make sure she doesn't. And she's like cradling the corpse of her daughter in her arms. And I don't want her to become that, please.
I understand. Now, please step away for a little bit. Don't go back in the cage. Just don't do that. Uh,
Okay.
just let me do this thing. Okay, first off, let me go over to this other body and make sure this is gonna happen. He takes that silver dagger and he's like, just stabs it into the head a bunch of times, like
Mm-hmm.
way too much. And then he just leaves the dagger in there for the time being. And he goes over to the body and kind of pulls everything that he can get to a reasonable spot and starts pulling out little candles and reagents and pieces of chalk and drawing on the ground. And he's basically doing something that only he can do, which is that he's going to spend a lot of time to cast a spell that he didn't prepare as a ritual.
Mm-hmm.
And what he's going to be doing is he's going to cast Newt's accelerated decomposition on her so that the body starts sprouting mushrooms and little plants and decomposing very quickly. Little bugs start crawling out of the body and helping to get it
Mm-hmm.
down into a compostable situation. And it's probably going to take a couple of hours of him just doing this and just holding his concentration on this. And the end result will be a pool of, well, fertilizer and some bones. And when that's all done, he's gonna turn to the woman and be like, this shouldn't happen like it just did. What you can do at this point, I guess, is you can take the bones and bury them. I mean, I don't have a shovel. We can't really get the rest of this, I imagine. But at least there's that.
And she
And
is just in complete awe watching this process unfold before her eyes. And eventually she says, okay, this is some kind of lab. I think they do experiments on people here, so I'm sure I could find some. And she has this very, like, far away look on her face. Some jars that I could transport her remains in before I inter her in our family crypt.
yeah. And he goes over and he pulls the silver dagger out of the other corpse and he wipes it and puts that away. Let's step out of this room and I'll close the door. Maybe if I didn't finish that, at least it won't be able to get at us. Um,
Very cool. And so as you kind of, wipe off the dagger and collect yourself and all of your things again, you do see that there is another big, heavy steel door leading out of this room, aside
oh,
from the one that you came in.
so in noticing that, he's going to tell her, "Okay, you get out of here. Um, I'll continue investigating. You've dealt with enough. Uh, yeah, just go and do what you can to live after this. This is horrible. I wouldn't wish this on anyone. I'm gonna stay though. You get out of here to safety. If you can, go ahead and take the other body that's in the main room and bring it somewhere that could be taken care of. It's for the best."
Oh, oh, okay, yes, sure. And so she kind of picks herself and collects herself. And now with a task in hand, she seems much more focused and set to do this.
All right. So he's gonna go over to that body that he's already spent a lot of time hitting, and take a quick look through its pockets, make sure there's nothing interesting or important in there. Probably not. So he's just gonna like throw that in a cage and lock the cage. Be like, there, let's see you get out of this, you piece of shit. And then he's gonna go to that other door.
And you can head over to the other door, and you see that it leads into into a tunnel that looks as if it has been very newly created. And you see it's is pitch black. And thankfully for your dark vision, you manage to be able to see just towards the end of it, where then it makes a sharp left turn.
He's like, all right, this is gonna get kind of deep. And then he snaps his fingers, which I won't do for the audio recording. And a raven just walks in, doesn't fly, just uses its little bird legs and walks in, looks around the room with the cages, and then looks up at Valka. And now that we're seeing it again, the weird thing about this raven is that it's not really a raven. It's more of like a silhouette of a raven. It's vaguely 2D. It doesn't have any eyes. And when it moves, it's like it's missing frames, like it belongs in a stop motion film.
Oh my god, it makes me think of the demon thing in Disenchanted.
Yeah, a little bit like that, actually, yeah. And then when it enters the room and looks up to Valka, it flies over and its weird jagged animation and lands on his shoulder. And Valka will nod to it. They'll exchange meaningful looks, not say a word, and he's gonna just waltz his way into this dark tunnel. Because this is just like Saturday for Valka at this point.
Fantastic. And you do so, and eventually, yeah, so you get to the end, you see that it makes a sharp left turn, and it begins to slope a little bit downwards as it is furthering deeper into the earth. And you see you make another right, and then a left, and then a right again, and then two more lefts, and this very sort of kind of confusing pathway that eventually leads to a plain wooden door.
He's gonna do the same thing that he did to the last wooden door. Gonna get up to it, press his ear to it, make sure there's nothing going on inside.
Yeah, you don't seem to hear anything.
Okay. And he's gonna open it all the way so that he's just like in the middle of the doorway.
Yeah, just taking it in.
Peer in.
And this leads you to a room that is full of sarcophagi that are just like interred in these little niches throughout the room. So Valka isn't from the city. How long do you think he's been there? Do you think he's visited often, or is this like his first time?
This is probably his first time. Yeah. He's been kind of like a hermit for a lot of his life. Mm-hmm. So he's spent a lot of time in the woods and places where people think things go bump in the night, but it's really just him.
And so, yeah, looking around, you see that there are, etched nameplates under each of these urns. But, I mean, not being from the area, they don't really have any meaning for you. And then you see there is a door that is just right across from you that leads to somewhere else. And then to the left, you see that there is another door.
Okay. So he's going to enter and look at all of the sarcophagi and be like, I swear to God, if any of you get out of here, we're gonna have a wicked bad fight, and you're gonna really regret it. And then he's gonna wait to see if anyone replies.
As a wind whistles through these chambers.
Okay. He's gonna go up to one of them and take a look at the plate, see if he can make anything of the name. Maybe it gives him a clue as to what sort of person is buried here, like a like stature, if they're like people that are important. Maybe the name will give him a clue as to like a family lineage.
Make a... Gets a history check.
Ooh, I think I have a point in that. I have several. Wow. Yay, intelligence. 18.
Nice. And so looking at these nameplates and these urns, and you get the sense that these are nobility. So that, yeah, because these are also very newly created. These aren't, ancient and covered in dust or anything. They're very pristine. They're very clean. These seem to be, very recent creation.
And how many of them are there in this room?
There are 15.
All right. He's gonna like go like, and he'd be like, "Fuck." All right. I'm sorry, I got nothing better for you all. And he's gonna take out those copper and weird denominations and place one on each sarcophagi as he goes through here. And then he's gonna go to the other door in here.
Yeah, so there's one that was straight across from where you entered, or the one off to the left.
I think he would probably start with the straight across.
Very cool. So as you get through that one, it leads you into this a four-way intersection, and you swear as you step into this intersection. You swear. It almost sounds like there are voices coming off from the left. Like, just, you hear the faintest mumbling of conversation coming through a door. And you see that, each of these is a door. Like, there's the one behind you, and then 3 more coming around. The left, right, and across from you.
Okay. So yeah, he's gonna like go towards the door where there's sound coming from and do his normal routine. And if there's any gap, he's gonna like get down on the floor and like try to like stick his eyeballs close to that as possible as well. Just really loves putting himself in danger.
Make a perception check.
Okay. Perception. Wow. 19, which is amazing with my 8 wisdom, mind you.
Very nice. And so, let me flip through some pages. And so you hear, it sounds very much like a very feminine, very sultry voice, and then also a very deep, masculine voice as these two are conversing. It's a little bit hard to catch their exact words as they're kind of like bouncing off what sounds like ceramic and marble, very much like the room that you were just in. So it kind of like warbles their words a little bit. But it definitely sounds as if they know each other and like they're talking shop. Some definite words that you can catch are plan, politicians, the next step, and they continue to speak for probably about 10 minutes before you hear the female voice kind of fade away as she says, "I'll be sure to get those to you as soon as possible, my dear poppet," which you catch oddly clearly. And you hear a closing of a door as presumably one or both of them leaves.
Okay. Valka's going to take out one of those copper that he's got left, and he's going to toss it at the door so it makes a nice like tap. And then he's gonna, when he does it, he's gonna go, keep doing that. And the coin hits the door, bounces back, and then hits the door again, and keeps doing that just on its own, just tap, 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 tap. And then he's going to scurry away and then try to find a corner to like hide behind, maybe behind like a sarcophagus or something, and like peek around the corner to see if someone's gonna come through and disturb that.
And yeah, so as you kind of like, yeah, so like it's like each of these like sections of hallway are about like 10 feet long, before they lead into different rooms. So you can either like just like head back behind the corner, or you can head all the way back into the room where you entered in from.
He'll just go around the corner because he wants to see this person
Okay.
before they see him.
And so as you the coin flicks against the door a couple times, and eventually the door does open after like the third plink of your coin against the door. And you see this hooded dark figure wearing a half ivory mask that just has a space for where the mouth is revealed. And you see he is holding a big fuck off crossbow, and he's clad in this dark black leather, and is wearing this very heavy hooded cloak that he has pulled up over his head. And you see he has his crossbow poised.
Yeah, Velka's going to like duck away and just like wait to hear if this person's advancing on him. Now that he's seen who this person is, and maybe wait for them to either decide that there was no shenanigans or only inadequate amounts of shenanigans to continue investigating. And since the coin no longer has a door to hit, it just drops to the ground.
And you hear the metallic ting of the coin hitting the ground, and he kneels down, keeping his gaze poised forward, and he picks it up, stands back upright, and he examines it in his fingers, pockets it, and you hear a come out wherever you are, small mouse. Are you here for the party?
Valka's gonna wait for a while to see what this person does when there's no response.
And you hear this clomping of heavy footfalls as he begins walking down the hallway. Little mouse, get lost. Temple of Ecstasy is right this way.
So he's going to move away from the corner and like make it so that his footsteps are noticeable, and go down, make sure that he's got like 15 feet or so between him and that corner. And he's going to pull out this little selenite rod, and it's sort of like holding a wand, and he's just going to stand in the middle of the hallway ready, and having it pointing down the hallway, waiting for this person to round the corner.
Oh, hello. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Boris, and you are?
That's not entirely important, but it's Valka. Nice to meet you. What's going on here?
Or, this is private club for members of certain stature. Do you have entrance ticket?
I don't have any statues. What sort of ticket would I be looking for? And what sort of establishment is this? You got cages over here. What's all that about?
Cages? I know not of cages.
Really? Because they're attached to your little fun tunnel here.
There are many, many rooms that are connected to cartway tunnels. This is a ancient tunnel system that was here from before city was established. We merely make home in its remnants I know not what other thugs have made their lair here.
So you're just fine having neighbors that put people in cages and leave people dead on their floors, huh?
This is not my business. This is business of city guard.
Mm-hmm. So you don't pay taxes or anything on this property, so you're not liable for that. Is that what I'm getting here?
And he shrugs. I suppose so. Nail me for tax fraud. I'm good for it.
All right, that's good. That's good enough. We're not gonna fight, right? We can both agree that we're gonna put our weapons away.
And he gives you a long, long, uncomfortably long look over.
Valka's just like,
If you go the way you came, we have no problem. If you come back and mess, expect to get messed with.
all right. So as long as I'm not coming forwards, and he kind of slowly brings the selenite rod down. What can you tell me about this situation you're dealing with here, and where can I get a ticket? What if I wanted to get in here? How would I get in there legitimately?
You must obtain invitation from one of our many wonderful members. It'll look something like this, and he reaches two fingers into his inside breastcoat pocket and will flick a red sort of piece of paper the size of a business card that reads in black embossed font, "The Temple of Ecstasy."
Falcon pulls out his notebook. He's like, all right, so if I got to find some members, what about some names? Can I get some names? And I'll go talk to them. We'll have a great time.
Names? No. We are very elite private club. Our
All right,
members enjoy their secrecy.
how much is that secrecy worth it? I've got several copper in my pocket.
Ha! Copper! No.
No, okay.
Gold.
All right.
Platinum? Maybe.
Platinum.
I think
So
about it.
this is exclusive. Wow. So what sort of members go to crypt parties? Just trying to get a feel of what sort of people I'm gonna be meeting at some point.
People who enjoy the finer things in life without onlooking gaze of plebeians.
I
People who
object to
want
that.
more out of life.
All right. All right. Well, all right. We'll talk again once I find one of those cards in the wild.
I'll look.
Do I just come back here and talk to you? You always here? Do you have hours?
I am security, you might say. So yes, I frequent here often. If you find member, they tell you how to get in. Good
All
luck
right.
to you.
Thank you. Before I leave, you want to shake on not shooting each other? Let me
And he
extend this
looks at
hand.
you with a just blank face. No, I'm good.
All right. That's fine. It's fair.
We must maintain 6 feet distance.
I get it. I get that a lot. Don't worry about it. He writes in his notebook, no secret handshake.
And yes, and so he will stay stationed in front of this door and will maintain eyes on you.
Yeah, Valka's just going to walk backwards out and then like close the door when he gets to that point.
Okay. What is Valka's passive perception, out of curiosity?
His passive perception is pretty bad, I imagine. Where is it on here? Probably like 9. Well, no. Perception is
8.
1,
It would be,
so it's
or
11,
10.
right?
10 plus your, whatever your bonus is to perception.
Yeah, so 11.
Okay. Cool. So yeah, you back out, close the door. Don't seem to hear anything after that.
All right. And then there was a door to the left of this one, right?
Correct.
He's going to go to that door and be like, maybe there's like a secret entrance here.
So you see him. Ooh.
Just do a little loop around.
Getting through the back door. And so as you head through this very plain wooden door, it leads you into another small short hall that opens into another sort of like long hall. So as you look off to the left and to the right, you see the left appears effectively to be a dead end, but as you look off to the right, you see that there is another wooden door.
Like, all right, wooden doors have been good luck so far. And he goes over that wooden door, does his routine, and opens it if there's nothing worth listening to.
And so as you kind of press your ear up to listen, it does sound like this is probably, it does sound, you do hear the footfalls of someone. Probably Boris.
He's going to open the door and like look in.
The door is locked.
He's going to go through his keys, see if any of those keys that he's picked up opens.
And as you start like jamming keys into the lock, eventually you see the handle begin to turn. And opening the door is this masked figure looking very annoyed.
Listen,
I told you to fuck off.
Listen, I didn't know how many entrances to your fucking club, alright? It's just, am I gonna have to do this with every door I come across today? There's just gonna be fucking Boris around the other corner? Listen, I didn't try to do this. We'll have a gentleman's agreement that we're not gonna have a problem, right? Maybe you should put signs on these things.
That would kind of ruin the point of secrecy. Do you not agree?
Yeah, but that's my point, is that I want to ruin the secrecy so I can get in.
And he shrugs. And he closes the door. And you
All right,
hear
later.
a locking sound.
I'll be back later.
And you hear
Let's
a
start.
very heavy, like, from the other side. As you hear, and you hear just a faint jiggling of other handles as he sounds pissed off.
Valka's just gonna start writing notes like, all right, there's a couple doors in here that definitely go to the secret ecstasy club. Watch out for stray bori.
He is many places.
And he's gonna, okay. So let's backtrack a little bit, go back to the cage room. There was no other exits from there. He's gonna like, when he walks in and he gets to the cage, he's gonna like point and snap his fingers at the body that's in there and be like, all right, you still down? All right, good. And he's gonna go back into the main area. And there was only 2 doors in that main area, right? That first one.
Yeah, so there is the bedroom that you had checked out. There is, the one that leads into this small cell room. And then down on the far end of this hallway, you saw that there was another archway that leads off into some other rooms.
Oh, okay. So he's gonna...
Yeah, and as you come back over here, you see that the body who initially greeted you into this location has been moved.
Good. She did exactly what he wanted. All right, yeah. now that he's back in familiar territory, he's sort of worked his way through all of the doors that he can get to that aren't Borised. He's going to go towards that open archway deeper in.
And this leads you into a very nice and well-maintained study. There are floor-to-ceiling bookshelves that are lined with a variety of tomes of different ages and markings, and in a variety of languages. And off to the right, you can see that there's another archway that leads you off into a very well-stocked and meticulously kept kitchen. And then also in this room, you see that there is a closed steel door.
He's going to take a quick look at like the bindings of the books here, see if there's anything that piques his interest. And if not, he's going to then make his way into the kitchen.
And so, taking a quick look around at all the books, you notice that there are many different books that deal with alchemy, with herbology and botany. There are some tomes on necromancy. And as you're kind of taking a quick glance, you see that there are holes in the bookshelf where books have been selectively pulled out, it seems.
He's gonna go over to that bookshelf then and like see if he can find any patterns in the books that may indicate what might be missing from the different slots. Like, do they have the Dewey Decimal System here, or is it alphabetical?
It appears to be by genre, and so the books that have been pulled out seem to do with something to do with the arcane arts, probably something along the lines of necromancy.
Okay, so he's gonna go over and find that book that he saw before about necromancy, flip through it, see if there's anything interesting in there that catches his eye, and eventually put it into what he thinks is the right slot in the bookshelf.
Cool. Yeah, it definitely seems to be like a sort of what might be like necromancy 101, where it's like, prepare the bodies. The longer they've been dead, the more likely they will be to fall apart. The best zombies are formed from fresh corpses, and it's very, very much a beginner's manual that are left here. So it might lead you to believe that perhaps some more advanced tomes were taken. Or misplaced or left somewhere else. But yes.
Okay. So, like, putting the books back on the shelves doesn't cause anything to happen.
Nope.
Okay. He's going to go and find that book on alchemy and herbology and take those, stuff those somewhere into his robes.
Cool.
And he's gonna poke around the bookshelf some more, move some stuff, make sure there's no like weird switches behind any. In the open spots on the bookshelf, he's gonna like stick his hand in there and like feel around for anything that's gonna stab him or flick a switch.
Sure. Make an investigation check.
All right. 8.
Yeah, you're like jamming your hands through and pulling them back and like groping around, and you don't seem to find anything.
It's got all the subtlety of a cat on a table of glasses of water.
Knocking shit over.
All right. I'm gonna go. Well, I'll figure this out later. And he's gonna go towards the kitchen.
Cool. Yeah. So you see that there is a small round table, which looks as though it's been cleaned up today. You see that there's like a faint residue of water on it, as if it's been wiped down. You see that there is a countertop with knives and a little sink. There is a small sort of eye wash station. There are cupboards that, as you can kind of peek through are well stocked with flour, dried goods, dried, and all. So, cookware. There's a stove with burners and an oven.
He's gonna go
Dishes.
towards the oven, open the oven, see if there's anything in there.
Oh, very clean.
Close the oven. It's very strangely clean in here. He's gonna go find some spoons and take a couple of those.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely find some flatware.
So nothing suspicious in here, huh? Well then, and he looks to the raven on his shoulder. The raven looks at him. There's a moment of like weirdness where nothing's happening. Then he goes, "All right, let's take another look at that book room." And he goes back into the study.
And as you head back into the study, just at the edge of your hearing, you detect a very rhythmic thump, 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 coming from the next room, through the steel door.
He's gonna go over towards the steel door and listen. Does it sound like something heavy, metallic, or fleshy hitting a thing, or can he not tell?
Make a perception check.
Yay, the thing I'm not great at. Oh, well, that just went everywhere.
That one went flying.
9.
It's so hard to tell through like this steel door that's like clearly trying. Its purpose is to seal off this room. Maybe glass, maybe ceramic, not metal.
He's gonna like knock on the door and try to like match the rhythm.
And you hear towards the base of the door, you suddenly hear this scrabbling of like claws at the base of this door from the other side.
He's going to like get down on the ground a little bit, get really close to like the seam, and be like, you trying to get out and you need help in there?
And it grows even more fervent as you hear nails digging against metal.
So on this door, does it appear to have any evident locks, or is it just like a handle?
It's just like a brushed steel handle.
Okay. So he's gonna try the handle, see if it turns, see if this is openable.
It will.
So he notes that it's openable, and then he's like, "All right, you ready in there? Are you ready to either attack me or get free? On the count of 3. 1, 2." He's gonna wait for a dramatic pause. 3, and then he opens the door and like darts back as fast as he can.
And as you dart back and you can kind of take a glance over your shoulder, you see 2 severed hands and what appears to be a set of eyeballs attached to some intestines launch themselves at you. And we're gonna roll initiative.
Ooh, that's good actually. I got an 18.
Ooh, that
I keep
is
forgetting that it's just us and I'm not waiting for everyone else to yell first.
So you will have the first move.
So Valka like runs away and he looks back and he sees the eyeballs in the hands and he's like, "That's wicked cool." And he tries to like get as far away as he can. He's going to, unless he's in range to be attacked, he's going to use all of his movement of 30 feet to get as far away as possible. And then let's see. Yeah, he's going to pull out that selenite rod again and point it towards the mass of intestines.
Mm-hmm.
And he like holds it like a wand, but then he like puts like his hand up behind it, like it's
Mm-hmm.
gonna like kick back or something. And he's going to cast monochromatic ray.
Very cool.
This is going to be radiant damage if I hit. Oh, that's pretty good actually. 4, 6, 23.
That certainly does hit.
Okay. So this does Ilia's monochromatic ray. This does a boatload of damage is what it does. 5. 10 damage radiant. So like the selenite rod glows and then like it looks like it could explode and there's like a little flash behind his hand and this very white light just flies across the room.
And as this sort of like pure white light blasts across this room and into this intestinal creature, you see it sears it into two different pieces that continue to both of them slither towards you as it appears to have split into two creatures.
Oh, good. That's all of my things I can do this turn.
Beautiful. And so these things, you see that there is one sort of one of the severed hands is like a dragonborn claw that's missing its pinky finger, and it's like it's using its little like nails to scrabble towards you. And you see that the other one appears to be a human hand, and these four things begin to swarm onto you, and they are going to get some attacks. One of them is a natural 20.
Oh, it's good against my armor class 10.
The other one is a 17. And then, so 3 of these things are going to hit you. Okay. Do some D4s. And so that will be a total of 11 damage as these things swarm onto you, beginning to rent and tear, and you feel the intestines like stick on like a suction cup and begin almost like draining blood from your arm.
So what kind of damage is this?
Bludgeoning.
Oh, good. So my hit point total was 8.
Oh no!
So that happens.
And so, yeah, these things begin, you just feel as these severed body parts just tear into you. And your life force is just drained from your body. And you black out. And some amount of time later, your eyes eventually kind of flutter open, and you hear this feminine voice. And you see, sort of hovering above you, as you're lying on the ground, is this stunning red-headed woman with this alabaster skin, and she is humming this very soft lullaby, and she's stroking your hair, And you realize that your head is up on her lap. She goes, she clucks her, tisks her tongue and goes, "Oh, sweet boy, what have you gotten yourself into? Don't worry, you're okay now."
He looks up at her, just staring directly at her hair.
It's
Complete.
so red.
It's the reddest thing that he's ever seen, probably, and that's not saying much. Uh, he looks up at her and he goes, "Am I in fucking hell?"
Arguably, that's what the material plane is, an inescapable pain. But no, you're not dead, if that is what you're implying. No,
Oh,
I
thank God.
I stabilized you, and you're back up to full HP.
Good. I didn't have to do any work on my paper. So he's lying there, surprisingly hatless. Uh, and he's just like, "So where am I then if I'm not dead and in hell?" And hi, I'm Valka. How you doing?
Hi, my name's Luna, and
Luna.
it
That's a great name. I'm writing that down as soon as I can find my hands.
and as you can kind of like lift up your head a little bit and take a look around, and you see that you are in this incredibly lavish bedroom. You are on top of this huge circular bed with these satin sheets, and this red velvet fabric is draped from a canopy over the edges of this bed, and it is very dark, but you smell this warm, sort of very kind of earthy perfume or potpourri that fills the air, and you have almost this kind of heady buzz as she continues to very lovingly stroke your hair.
I imagine that he's like trying to get up and like look around and do stuff, and she's like reaching out and still petting him.
Shh. You've had quite an injury, but I believe you've recovered fully. You're here in my bedchambers. I heard from Boris that you were poking around.
Oh, shit, am I allowed to be in here? Is he gonna barge in here and kick my ass? We had a little bit of a thing earlier.
I'll keep him off, don't worry.
Oh, thank goodness. Uh, he's like pulls his arm out and he like pulls the sleeve back and he like presses his fingers to his wrist. There's still stuff going on in there. That's good. Am I like? And he's like checking his teeth. Am I? I'm not like something else now, am I?
Would you like to be? She whispers into your ear, and you feel the hairs on the back of your neck stand up as it is almost this predatory charm.
He looks at her and he's like, I don't know. Does can that even happen? Like, I don't know if I can. And he's like, I don't know if that works for Shadow Kai. Have you ever done it to a Shadow Kai? It's kind of my first time with this whole deal.
And she chuckles very quietly under her breath. And she goes, "The Red Goddess accept all who would be willing to submit and to revel in what makes them happy."
The Red Goddess. He
Yes.
looks around. Hold on, dude. And he like goes through his stuff. Do I still have my like things?
So as you kind of take a peek around, and through the crack in these red velvet drapes that are covering over this bed, you can catch a glimpse of the pile of your stuff that has been left into the room, but is not immediately next to you. But you're still
Yeah.
wearing like your clothes and all of that.
He goes over to his stuff. He's like, hold on, I gotta write this down. So the red what was the name you said? Red Queen, something like that.
Morena, the red goddess.
Red Goddess, Morena, 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 right?
That is correct.
I just want to make sure I got that right. Um, and Yo Luna, he's
Yes.
writing this down. Uh, where am I right now? I mean, aside from your very sexy bedroom, where am I? Like in relation to the rest of the city, if I can know that. I know there's some secret stuff going on here.
Quite. Well, as you said, you've had a run-in with Boris earlier. Can be such a brute. I'm so sorry for his poor manners and lack of hospitality. We are here in. My chambers are contained within the Temple of Ecstasy, underneath the city.
Ah, I knew I'd get in here somehow. It was all
Quite.
part of my plan.
Such a studious young lad. What a mind we can put to work.
You better believe it. I'm one of the studiest out there. Uh, So if here's a question that's worth getting out in the open. I just wanna, cause um, this is weird, and I just don't want to make
Sure.
it weirder. Am I if I try to leave here, am I gonna get like uh chompy chomped or stabby stabbed?
Well, I suppose that is determined by how you would like to leave. Would you like to join our little club? As it seems that you were trying to gain entrance anyway.
I mean, kinda. I've never really belonged anywhere before. It's kind of really appealing. Um, You know what? I've been wicked rude. You did something for me. Let me hold on. And he goes through his stuff and he finds that bloody lab coat that he tied up. And he's like, "Look, I brought you this. This is what. This is good, right? This is good for you. Would you like this? It's fresh."
Uh, and she's like, well, I appreciate the sentiment. And she reaches out a very sort of like dainty hand and she clasps it between two long red, very red painted nails. And she takes it and she plops it into a hamper. And as you've stood up and you're looking around this room now, you can see that there is clearly a rack of implements for torture. There is a chair that one with a set of manacles that one could be strapped into. You see that there's like this small bookcase, and in the center of the room, you see this large red glass statue in the shape of a scantily clad maiden.
Hmm. Wow, there's a lot to take in here. You really got a theme, don't you?
Always be branding. That's my motto.
Makes sense. So you use these for fun or for business? And he points to the torture stuff.
Both.
That's
It's
good.
like,
Multi use items are good. You never want a uni worker. You want everything in your kitchen, your garage to have multiple uses. A unitasker is a real waste. And he goes over to some of the equipment, and he's like poking around at it because he's probably seen a number of these things because Shadarkai are weird.
truly,
He's like,
yeah.
he's like, wow, you got some. This is like a This looks barely used. Did you just get this?
Oh, I've picked up a few things when we moved into Helbron, and you see that there is the most prominently featured instrument is this cat of nine tails that has that it's studded with silver at the barbs at the end, and the handle is made out of rubies that are shaped like skulls.
He'll like go over to that and be like, and pick it up and be like, "Wow, this is wicked good. Like this is high quality stuff. It's got silver on the end if you're dealing with the sort of thing that doesn't like that. Really good. And he's like flapping it around. This excellent. A prized possession in your collection here." And he puts it back. And he's like, "So anyways, yeah, ignoring the elephant in the room for a bit, I've come here looking for a couple of things. Maybe you can help me." And he's just kind of in like, I'm not in danger mode right now, like visibly relaxed, has not reading the room at all. He's like, "Look, I was coming in here looking for someone called the Sleeper. Have you ever heard of a nickname like that? Anyone go by that moniker?"
Yes.
Oh, good. And he gets the notebook out again. "Tell me everything you know about the Sleeper."
Well, we made contact with this individual as he had a certain number of tomes for us for our arcane research that we do, that different individuals within the Church of the Red Goddess do. And we procured them, concluded our dealings with him. That was that.
Okay. Any
It was
description on this Sleeper at all? Or did you talk through like hidden channels and behind curtains like I usually do?
no, we don't like to be so. We don't need to be so cloak and dagger. No, he was a nice man. 5'9", brown hair.
5'9", brown hair.
I believe he was wearing that lab coat that you gifted me.
Son of a bitch. Well, now I'll never figure out what I was supposed to do here.
And she smiles this toothy grin that reveals vampire fangs. And she sits very patiently on the edge of her bed, her hands very neatly clasped on her lap. And tell me, Valka, was it?
Yeah, that's it. Valka Ilford. I want you to have my full name because that's important.
Valka Ilford, as she
Yep.
leans forward a little bit. What is it that you were here doing?
He goes over to her and he leans in. "I was here looking for the Sleeper. We got through that. I was here on a chore looking for a book. I don't." And he like leans in further, getting like craning his neck. He's like, "I don't know if I can actually tell you the kind of book that I was looking for. It's kind of dangerous."
Oh, we're very into danger here.
I see that. Have you ever heard of maybe I shouldn't tell you.
You can tell me. It could
You're
be
right.
our little secret.
I can tell you. I really can. But I also want to know, if I leave, is the expiration on that bitey bite gonna go away? Like, can I come back and we can maybe do this another time? And he kind of steps back a little bit. Delaying it is really often pretty cool. Really, really good when you finally get to it. You know what I mean?
I do. You can come back when you're ready.
Ah, that would be so good. I have so many chores left. How do I get out of here?
I'll have Boris show you the way out.
Thank you so much. And he just like scrambles over and starts getting all his stuff. Really, really great. Thank you so much for getting me back up and running. And he like checks his neck finally. He's like,
Doesn't appear to be anything there.
look, it's been really great. I'm wicked looking forward to meeting you again.
And bursting through the door suddenly is a man who looks to be the twin of this woman. Very similar red hair, although it's very short and sort of like delicately tousled. And he bursts through the door. Luna, are you done with your plaything yet? I'm bored.
Valka's like, I think so for now. We're gonna play later, I think.
Oh, did you? And he turns to. Were you planning on sharing? She looks at him. Linus, can't a girl just have something for herself? Boris! He shouts. And creeping in from the shadows. Oh god, it's this fucker again.
Hey Boris, I told you I'd get in.
You did. Yes. Lord and Lady Forelden. Oh, Boris, be a dear. Give Valka Ilford here one of our little invitations. Valka, come back this evening. We're having a little party.
That
And
sounds awesome. I
yes,
cannot wait.
I think it might definitely pique your interest. And if you are looking for certain texts, well, we have a great many of them here in our temple, and I would love to give you a tour of our little library here.
I would love that. I cannot wait to subscribe, and get into all that stuff.
Ding that bell for
soon
the
as
notifications.
Make sure, make sure I don't miss any additions to the library. It'll be awesome.
Beautiful. And so, yes, and so she walks up over to you, and she puts one of these red business cards, like very delicately in your pocket.
It's like,
We'll see you
I will
later
treasure
tonight.
this. Oh, you definitely will. I cannot wait.
And so Boris will very begrudgingly lead you out of here.
Cool.
Give me 1 second as we launch this giveaway. Ha-ta!
Hey.
Giveaway for the Underworld Player's Guide. If you type !wicked into the chat, all lowercase, it is case sensitive, you'll be entered to win this hardcover copy of the Underworld Player's Guide, where there are a number of subclass options and new spells, new options for playable species. And the only catch is you have to be in the US or Canada in order for us to send it to you. But if you are international, we can, next week when we do our one-on-one game with Jen, we will be giving away a digital copy so that anyone can enter. So get those in, my friends.
Get your books. They're
Get
wicked
your
good.
books. Truly, knowledge is power. It's Valka here. It's
He's learned a lot of things his own way. It took a lot. He only had to die.
And so Boris begrudgingly leads you out of this, what has been called a temple. You go down this hall and into this huge rectangular hall. You see that it is lined with pillars. And in sort of the center of this large rectangular hall, you see one sort of central column with a number of braziers that are around it, who are for the the time being now, are not lit. And so he will lead you out this long rectangular hall into a small antechamber where you see this huge hulking figure with this gray taut skin is sulking on this pile of offal and the carcasses of many dead individuals. And you see Boris claps a very kind of like one pet, like you would pet a dog, in that kind of like good boy, as he leads you out to this antechamber down this very long tunnel, which leads you into this small square room that you had just caught a glimpse of before when you were trying to try the keys and the locks. He goes, I wish I could say this was the last time, but I know it won't. And he will lead you out you see that there are 3 other doors leading into the small room in which there are a number of sarcophagi, in urns and remains here. And he will usher you out of the small room and lock the door behind you with no hemming or hawing about it.
I've already made one good enemy for life.
Yes, and so here you see this. He leads you into the 4-way intersection that you had initially encountered him. So you see that now there's a door to the left, which you had not explored, forward, to which you had not explored, and you see off to the right was that room where you came in from with all of those newly formed urns and name placards.
Okay. So I like to imagine that when he's finally alone, just like around a corner, that weird raven just walks into view. It's just like,
Mm-hmm.
and he looks down at it, and there's like a moment of silence, and he goes, well, you didn't help me at all, so why are you blaming me? And then there's some more silence, and he's like, well, I mean, I got in there, so isn't that good enough? And you see the raven look up, and you see the beak move slightly. And he's like, well, we can't undo it, so we might as well keep going forward. And we'll figure out what we're doing from here. The sleep is dead, but we still have plenty of clues, and we made a new friend. So we'll get through this together, as always. Right? And the raven nods. He goes, all right. Let's check out this door that we haven't been through yet. And he goes through the one that he hasn't tried yet.
Yeah. So the left and forward you haven't tried yet.
He'll try the forward.
And you step forward through this one, and you have to sort of push against. There's some resistance coming from the other side, but as you kind of you can push and shove against it, and opening it, you see a 6-foot-tall raven humanoid, a dark-skinned middle-aged man, and you see now 2 of these creatures, who one you had of a similar type to that you had slain earlier, who have lashed out hands, trying to attack this middle-aged man. And that's where we're gonna end this episode.
This was wicked fun.
Wicked fun!
Wicked fun, kid.
Oh boy. So since we entered the giveaway a little bit late, we'll go and we'll pull that as the last possible thing. But yes, this has been a super, super good time. I've definitely enjoyed this. Wow, chat, what did you all think? What did you think, Matt? What you watched the other 2 streams? You got some theories going?
I got a lot of theories that I'm going to keep to myself because the audience can make their own theories, and that's part of the fun. I'm very happy that I put myself in grave danger. And I'm very excited by the fact that I literally died. Well, not literally, probably, but it was very funny when I had 0 hit points.
You are knocked, rendered unconscious. And yes, so hi, welcome everyone. If this is the first time that you are catching us live, welcome. I am Sage. You can follow me at Staff of Sage on Twitter. If you enjoyed this session, if you've enjoyed other sessions that I've run, I have a Ko-fi where you can literally commission me to run games for you. Definitely horror is one of my favorite genres, but I will, I'm open. I want to run the kind of game that you want to play, and yes, we'll be here, the Venture Maidens, again this next Wednesday. I'm doing our main campaign, episode 90. Holy smokes!
That's a lot of episodes.
Oh my god, as we continue plucking away through this maze. And then, of course, on weekly Sundays in the morning, our fellow maiden Nassim plays video games, so I think she'll be doing The Sims. And yeah, Matt, tell us about you, where we can find you, and all that good stuff.
Yeah, so again, you can find me on Twitter at KintaroTPC. At me, DM me, they're open. I'm always ready to chat about pretty much whatever. Any tabletop stuff you want to talk about, super down for it. The podcast I run is an actual play podcast starring also Sage. We see a lot of each other these days.
We do.
That is a actual play podcast that is inspired by the Dark Souls series. So if that appeals to you at all, then come on in. It's very philosophical. It's dark, but at times I like to think it's pretty damn funny. We get into a lot of the topics of life after death, what it means to be a person, and very obtuse things like that are really fun to think about when you're playing someone who isn't you.
Definitely, I've definitely enjoyed playing. My character is they begin as Hazel, an atheist paladin. So you all can mull that one over in your head.
Do you want to talk about the third-party class that I've been playing today?
Oh yes, tell us about the witch class. It's very cool.
Yeah. So the witch class is from a book called A Witch's Primer, Hidden Oddities, A Witch's Primer by Ava Brown, one of my other players in my podcast. It's a really cool, very unique class that deals with little trinkets, which I haven't super delved into yet, but the whole deal is based on these little mundane things that you have and empower. There's like 20 different kinds of things you can do to them from level 1. So automatically you get so many options, so many cool things you can do, like making it so you don't have to eat, or making it so you can see underwater, or casting spells. It's very unique. It's on Drive-Thru RPG. Highly recommend it. Ava has such a good head for game design.
Yeah, I just posted a link in our Twitch chat for all of you who want to check it out. Yes, you sent me a copy of the book, and it is very, very cool. I would definitely love to play one eventually. But yes, and with that, let's pull a name to see who will be getting to take home this copy of Underworld Player's Guide.
Who's the lucky person that's definitely subscribed to this channel?
Norman Lambert! Are you here, Norman? If you're here, type !claim in the chat to let us know that you're here. If not, we will have to...
If not, I will die again.
Oh no! We don't want you to die again. Norman!
Yeah, one of us doesn't want me to die again, Sage.
You're level 1. You're so squishy.
I'm good at taking damage on these streams.
All right, well, Norman has it claimed. Let's draw a new one. Oh, yes, he's here. Type exclamation point
Good.
claim, Norman, and then send me your email address and your mailing address so that we can get this wonderful book to you. Excellent.
Congrats, Norman.
Yeah! We will be here next week. I will be playing a game with Jen Dunn of the Dun Jen Show. A fantastic pun. And you will all get to meet her, and that will be the fourth and final of our one-on-one games. And then you all will be reunited and all in one room together. Oh, I'm so excited. All right, friends, this has been an excellent time. Thank you all for tuning in. Catch us next week from 6 to 8 p.m. PST. And yeah, have a great night, everyone.
Bye.